Hello, everybody. I'm Isaiah Brassfield, Executive Director and Proprietor of Jessie May Foundation. I promised everybody that I would do a video to show them how to create their own nonprofit organization. So let's jump into it. First thing you need to do before the paperwork or anything like that, before calling the IRS or calling anybody, is check with yourself. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Do I believe in it? Is it a passion of mine? Is it in my heart, really my heart to do? Or do I just want to be part of something? Because you can always join anything. But if you want to start your own nonprofit, that has to be in your heart. It can't just be, and I promise you, it cannot be because you're angry. It cannot be just because you're upset or you feel bad. It has to be something because you truly care about people. And I promise you, no matter what you try to do, people will be able to feel that energy is very real. And there's not a room I've been in where people aren't engaging each other's energies, especially with me if I'm the new one in the room. Okay? And people, I am very blessed to be in these situations where everyone is so open arms with me, but I attribute that to the spirit that's in me that really cares and is passionate about the DMV area, all of Maryland, all of Virginia and DC. Anyone who's met me can tell you how much passionate I am about where I'm from. Okay? You got to really determine that so you can determine if it's authentic. That authenticity will be figured out. And then people won't want to work with you if you're not being authentic. If you're being disingenuous. Even if you convince yourself that you really do believe in it, you'll really know at the end of the day if it's authentic. And you can always hop off at the end of the day. Okay? Within that, you got to determine your level of commitment. But baby step yourself. Don't overpromise. Okay? Don't tell people you're going to do something and then not be able to meet that. Me personally, everything I'm going to talk about is going to be how to do a sole proprietary one. Okay? Not only that, just exactly how I did it. There are 10 million ways to skin a cat. You can do it other ways, but I'm just telling you, these are important things to think about. Level of commitment. When I walked in, I knew for me, I'm going to do, and it's on our website, jessiemayfoundation.org. We do what we can with what we possess. And within that, it also allows me to do things as I have time because of my work schedules. And if I overlap too much, I'll crash. Like anybody, because we're human beings. Make sure you make time and take your time. Figure out where you're comfortable. If you can do more, then do more. But start slow and figure that out. Okay? Now, next up you have to determine, and this if anything is the second hugest one to me, is if you're there to preach or provide opportunity. Okay? It's like when people give money to someone who might be homeless or in a bad situation, if you're the type of person who's thinking about what they're going to do with that money, this isn't for you. Because even when you hand that money over, what it should be is, I'm providing that opportunity. I'm not here to control what that person does with it, but it's in my heart to be here to support this person in their time of need because if I can do it. Okay, you really need to understand that. And I promise you, if you come in with the preaching mentality and you haven't earned respect of the people you're trying to preach to, it's not going to work. Okay? I'm not going to get ahead of myself. You also need to determine, are you here to listen or be heard? I do a lot of listening. Why? And attribute to everything I said before, because everyone knows I'm from Northern Virginia. I've grown up, had families that we were close to, in and out of D.C., went to church in D.C. for the longest time as a kid, grew up in the crack epidemic, but I still went home. I still went across the bridge. I help people in Baltimore. I love Baltimore. But I still go home. I still live in Virginia. Virginia has its things too, but I know the area from where I came. Okay? And you have to think about it in this concept. If someone walked into your house and your family was having problems, they didn't even know what the problem was. Or maybe they just found out about it, but then try to tell y'all how to fix it, how would you feel? Okay? If you're not that exposed to it, listen. I listen, and I try to figure out where I can help. On a higher level from the individual family members, even when I walk into an organization like the Boys and Girls Club, Baltimore Child Abuse Center, which is now a Center of Hope, and the Georgetown University Hospital Pediatric Center for HIV and AIDS. That's always a mouthful. I always want to give them the respect of saying it correctly. Whenever I walk into anywhere, I do two things. Excuse me. I bring money and a plan. I mean, this is going to tie back into preaching an opportunity, listening and being heard. Okay? I bring what I can afford to bring. So I'm not telling them, here's some money, you figure out what you want to do with it. And because it's also about, I do want to be engaged. I still want to be, how can I best help you? But at the same time, I'm not the person who walks in, well, I have a plan, but you figured out how to fund it. Now, you don't have to do major things like that. You can have even, like I'm a small organization. You can have even a smaller one. You can find your own niche where if you had a thing where you just handed out gift cards here and there where you wanted to, you just wanted to do it in the name of someone you loved most dearly, do that. Nothing's stopping you from that. You do not have to be on the biggest levels. You can be on the smallest levels. Something that's important to you, something that's hard to do. We talk about level of commitment. That's what you can do, and you're doing the best with it. That's all that matters. Okay? Going further into that. Oh yeah, money and an idea. At the same time, and I think even more important, I am not. Like I tell everyone, I'm not married to an idea that I bring, because I can't come into your house again and tell you what's best for you. But I'm just giving the respect of, hey, some means and an idea that if they don't have any right now, but they can use the money for whatever they want to use it for, and I will help facilitate increasing the empowerment of the people that they have in certain positions already that are already effective. And okay, here we go. Additional to right after that, you need to ask trust the subject matter experts. Speaking of which, if they have people who are already in these empowered positions that have these connections with these families, these kids, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, don't come in there bogarting, throwing elbows and pushing everyone out the way. Let them work. If anything, ask them how you can best help them. Okay? And then maybe organically you can get up even higher than what you're doing. Also, ask yourself, do you have the time for this? And in the energy, time and energy, I always equate everything. Do I have the time and energy, not just with the foundation, but just in general? Do I have the time? Do I have the energy to keep up? Okay? Whether it's in a plan that I want to do sooner than later or not. Or even just with work, if I take on too many responsibilities, do I have the time? Do I have the energy? Mental stability is very important. Okay? I've even ran myself into the wall this year. All right? Was that late last year? Moving forward. But it's very important. Take your time. Take your breaks. Okay? Are you willing to put your pride aside if you don't like the person who can actually reach the kids? Let's say you don't like that person. Not because they're necessarily a bad person. But for whatever reason, you don't like Mike. You don't like the way he dresses. You don't like his attitude. It's not necessarily his attitude, but you don't like his accent. Maybe even his attitude. But it's on a personal level. Like, it's just you. Okay? But you see Mike or Mary or whomever have a great connection to the people around them. That people listen. He's effective. He or she's effective. Okay? Are you going to let your pride get in the middle of what you're trying to do? If this person can facilitate that, will you do it? Again, I'm not talking about someone who's actually hurting people. I'm saying somebody you just might not agree with on certain things, but they're the strongest people, the most effective people. I tell people all the time, I've worked with people in the Army who I might have not liked as people, like we would never be friends, but in combat, I would pick that person first to stand right next to me immediately. Okay? Pride aside. Humble yourself. I have to humble myself all the time regardless, not because of that, but it's another, not to get too off the beaten path, but because you start feeling good about what you're doing, you got to bring yourself down a little bit. Stay grounded. All right? Stay humble. That's it. Going on from that. Okay, reach the kids that are in the position. Oh, within that, put your pride aside if you don't like the person who can actually reach the kid. And kids, I'm just using kids for the topic. And how you have to actually earn that respect in that position. And I was using examples as Malcolm X didn't just come out the gate doing speeches like this. He was active. He earned that respect. That's why when he spoke, people listened. Because he had the credibility and put in the hard work to even be in that position. And he wasn't doing it for the recognition. He was doing it because he had a message and really believed in people. Okay? Again, humbling yourself. Okay, moving on from there. Again, just take those things into consideration. So I'm not going to run on too long tonight. That's 10 things. So what are we talking about? What did we talk about? I don't know if it's 10 things. It's 10 minutes. Why are you doing it? Is it authentic? Your level of commitment, provide opportunity, or are you preaching? Are you listening? Are you here to listen? You're here to be heard. You're going to listen to this, work with the subject matter experts, or you're going to elbow yourself in, and try to, sink the entire ship. Okay? Do you have the time and the energy? And also make sure you take breaks. Are you willing to put your pride aside if you don't like the person who can actually reach the people you want to engage with? And understanding that if that's what you want to be, you have to earn your way to that. And even then, those people got there not because they woke up one day saying, I want to preach to people. They got there because they just kept engaging and people gravitated towards them. Okay? Now, understand that I'm a leader as far as with this foundation, as far as with the Army, as far as almost everything I do. But understand, you have to know how to play positions sometimes. How to take a back seat and let someone else run with the ball. Okay? I can't just go in there and just act like I'm the leader here. No, not there. Not in any of these spaces have I'm the leader and I've ever been the leader. But I help support them. Help support the leader. Okay? That's what's important. Remember that. I have come across that many a time. People, I want to talk to these kids and save them. That's not it. Nobody wants to be preached to like that anyway. It's helping people. That's what they want. That's what people really want. Okay? And if there's someone to talk to, you have to earn that. Just like anyone will have to earn your trust to talk about your problems. Okay? That's all I got for today. I can probably go on forever. It's been 12 minutes. And stay tuned for the next video, which will be one about the actual processes of getting it started, from this, making sure you contact the city, the state, the feds, and actually how much they've been helpful for the majority of that. So if you do make mistakes there, you can always call and figure that out. But we'll get onto all that process. Just stay tuned. Take time. Let this marinate. Figure it out. Okay? And if you're still on board, if you're ready to come out and get engaged, stay tuned. All right. I love y'all. JessieMayFoundation.org.